ability, he's got iframes, he's got damage, he's got executes, he has range, and more so. So he's just going to be a universal pick no matter what. And still very safe to go into, since we're seeing some of his counters become less and less viable.
Now, let's just jump right into the drafting phase between Bigatron Alpha and Siyusun, with Bigatron Alpha going first pick and Siyusun second.
So they already took out the Phovis. They're still respecting the Jawhead. They take out the Juicin, surprisingly, so they're not looking at prioritizing that. Suyo or Granger is going to be open for them if they want to run for it.
Sounds like a Granger first pick coming from the side of Bigatron Alpha, and if it's giving away the Suyo for Siyusun, that might be worth noting. But Badang is open as well. I'm not too sure whether there's something that Siyusun want to play.
It very much depends on the team. Some teams are perfectly fine with leaving Badang until the second phase of the draft, while some others just like to grab him as soon as possible.
Like
in this case, I don't really think Siyusun's going to be on that spectrum. They're going to go ahead for the Suyo and the Cho right now, keep things open, and the Cho obviously is a good way of jumping into the backline to catch the Granger, but that means that the Joy is going to be let through. And in the past, Joy has been noted to be one of the best counter picks in the jungle against the Suyo.
Yeah, that's become the new trade. It seems like teams have a complete not... Well, for this phase of the tournament, seems like they've given up on the Alpha Suyo trade and have made it the Joy and Suyo trade. So they go for the high loss for a little bit of stability, something that they can flex going into the second phase. But with Harith on the other side, I'd like to see Bigatron Alpha actually have a much more active EXP laner option than something that's just there to hold lane.
With Irithel currently still open, but Siyusun choosing to opt for a Harith. What do you guys think about this?
Harith is just straight up a stronger power pick than Irithel. He's more universal, yes. Irithel is more of a niche, like specific counter to the Granger, but Harith is not just good against Granger in lane, but is one of the few marksmen that can actually outplay a Joy once you get into the late game burst phase. We've already seen it in the past. So it's a safer option for Siyusun in general, especially since with the Cho on their side already, Bigatron won't have as much access to direct single target pickoff.
Yeah. So one of the things Siyusun has to watch out for is a trade for Valentina, Eve, any of the artillery mages. Plus, you have to consider that Sicilian will go very well for the lineup of Bigatron Alpha. Having a Sicilian, Joy, and the Granger together might actually make things difficult for the Harith to be comfortable with fighting under his own Zaman force, because he might be at risk of getting caught by the Sanguine Claws and also receiving damage from Bat Impact and Bat's Feast of Sicilian.
I also actually like to quickly mention that picking up the Joy for the side of Bigatron Alpha also kind of pseudo denies Siyusun from picking up most immobile, long range / high ground heroes such as a Fasa or Eve, which is conveniently left out of the banning phase so far.
Yeah, they've left the Eve in. It actually still isn't too bad for Siyusun if they want to go for it at this point. But Bigatron banning out the Akai is also very, very interesting. Again, one of the teams that actually heavily prioritizes it for themselves. By getting rid of it, it does make me believe that they're going to be leaning more into like the tanky options. And of course, Akai is a good way of dealing with the Joy as well. I'm thinking, yeah, Lucas or even the Gatot might be things that Bigatron's looking at.
Yeah. At the same time, I think Siyusun could also consider the Gatot for them.
For themselves? Okay.
Yeah, because they need another tankier option. They really still have to respect the high loss being a flex pick. So if ever this will be a roam Cho, again, we still see EXP Chos from time to time, but it's very team specific if they want to. I think, yeah, they need another tanky EXP. The Lucas ban was really great because it was getting set up by Siyusun. Those are like the most obvious bans for setting yourself up for Lucas ever.
Once you have
ban
Valentina.
CC, you ban Valentina. It's like, we're not going Lucas. What are you talking about?
There's also another thing, right? Since Siyusun is our second pick, okay, never mind. I was kind of weaving it to the very possibility of picking up a glue at the final pick, since you don't really know what Bigatron Alpha is going for when it comes to the EXP yet.
Yeah, but I think Badang is still generally more solid, and the Badang with Cho does make you think that Seasoon probably is intending to play it in the EXP lane. So if Bigatron goes ahead and plays a tank in the EXP lane, then Badang will actually be fine here since he won't have to worry too much about lane priority. And yep, Bigatron go for the Gatot. So this is a very solid front line for them to play around already. In the past, AOG was classified as like the direct counter to Harif because you just cover the Zaman force with the big circle. And then the Eve that we talked about comes on in. Bigatron's team fight is terrifying.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking Seasoon would actually leave open the Valentina because the Eve or any mage that has a good sense of area of effect, whether it's crowd control, whether it's damage, just slots in with their lineup. And now they're going to be packing double Revitalize too. The early game trades for Seasoon might be difficult. So whatever their mid laner needs to be, it cannot be just focused for crowd control. It needs damage as well. So you get pressure away from the Harith as being the only main source of damage. So they cannot go for something like Aurora. They need something with heavier damage.
It kind of feels as though Seasoon's one of our main plays is to kind of skill super late into the game. I was thinking Sicilian, hopefully, so that they just kind of hold out in the early game to the and the mid game, just so that they have a chance in the late game. Because I've got to be honest here, Bigatron Alpha's lineup, they kind of seem like they fulfill almost every checkboxes.
Yeah, I really like Bigatron's lineup here, and unfortunately Sicilian is just not really an option for Seasoon. It's so vulnerable to Eve and Joy, and then it does magic damage, which Harif builds into as well, so it makes itemization easier for the opponent. It's better to play safe in this case, like go for the Vexana or the Zask here, which is harder to pick off.
Now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the very first match of the day with both of these teams still hanging in the balance at the bottom of Group A. This very first game is going to definitely set the tone for the rest of the series. It is, once again, Bigatron Alpha versus Seasoon here in the Land of Dawn.
All right, it's showtime. Let's see how this is going to fare for Seasoon. You know what? I like the Zask pickup because they needed a mid laner that can protect itself while at the same time being able to do good damage.
Yeah, they needed zone control. When you're up against an Eve, you need some way to be able to regain the battlefield against it, and Zask is probably the only other hero that can kind of match up with that. You can play safe with the Dominator's Descent, and then you can kind of scout out the bushes and control areas on the map a bit more easily against a Hylos and Gatot, since there's no way Seasoon has tanky enough heroes to actually just directly match up against early. And Achira also went for the Impure Ray. Oh,
Brantisi getting cloaked down, taunted right away. Looks like he's going to get caught early on, but he is going to get away. Ryzen dishing back the damage against Bigatron Alpha with a double Revitalize. This is what we were talking about earlier. Early game trading is not going to be so easy for Seasoon because Bigatron Alpha will just heal through it.
Yeah, it's a Venn diagram of healing right there on the two tanks. There's no way you're taking that down this early. Seasoon just doesn't have much early game damage to play around outside of Ryzen. And they did actually set up really well with the Cho and Badang, but it wasn't enough.
Electrifying Beast already applied onto Ryzen. Looks like he's not going to get away. First blood already by Bigatron Alpha on the jungle of Seasoon.
Yeah, really good rotations for Bigatron. They know exactly where Ryzen is going to be on the map at this point based on his jungle rotation. So by picking off the most
No, man. Okay, you are dancing with the devil, and his name is Eman, but he's not going to be able to secure the kill onto his opposing gold laner. But Brantisi's looking at him. Brantisi's trying to take him down. Eman is trying to survive. The outplay is real. Eman dancing around the Cho.
Really playing the Death Sonata for Seasoon there, and he doesn't even have it unlocked yet. Really good footwork. That could have been a double kill actually, if not for the fact that Brantisi just barely got out. Again, Seasoon doesn't have a lot of early lane priority to play around. This is allowing Bigatron to be so aggressive on the map.
It looks like they're signaling that they want to heavily contest this, even though Bigatron Alpha has the advantage. Ryzen goes in. They're trying to take down Luke, but again, the Revitalize is keeping him alive. Real-world manipulation has zoned out Seasoon and put them in an uncomfortable spot, and that spot is not healthy enough to contest this. Ra and Ryzen are looking, and they say, we go back.
Yeah, I think that is the right choice. You no longer have the tools necessary. Ryzen was able to pick up a kill at least, but you can see how much difficulty Seasoon is having in direct team fight situations. They gotta play more around pickoff right now due to the lack of DPS, while respecting the amount of healing that Bigatron has with these Revitalizes. It is so much easier for Bigatron Alpha to play around the map right now with the presence they have in the Hylos and Gaton.
You know, Snafa, with the results that we've seen so far, it feels like Soon can stop with the skirmishes for quite some time because it seems like Bigatron has already signaled that, yeah, you can't dance with us just yet this early.
Yeah, the problem with Soon's lineup is it's kind of a reactive response to what Bigatron went for. They don't have the tools to make proactive plays themselves because the player that needs to provide information on the map is also the only player they have for picking someone off, which is Brantizi on this show. If he's scouting, he can't be ganking. And Achira on the Zask is playing a more of a defensive utility role here as well, so his rotations just aren't quick enough to create pressure on the side lanes.
And you see that reactiveness on the nature of Soon's lineup as now their purple buff is getting invaded. Super Ken will take it out of Horizon's hands, and with 4 minutes in, it's already not looking good for Soon.
We've already seen this in the past games that Soon has been playing. Their synergy is a little bit tricky in the early game, and Bigatron is willing to just use resources to continue stealing away space and resources from their opponents here. Oh, bot lane.
Bottom side, Eman under turret, still surviving. Light comes in just in time, and Nomad and Brantizi will not be able to complete the gank. Brings out their Vitalize as well to bring Eman back to a healthier point, and he's gonna try to heal himself through the Beetle so that he doesn't need to leave lane.
Even before his time with Bigatron, Eman is no stranger to these sticky situations in the gold lane. His positioning, his footwork is clean. He knows exactly how far he needs to space from his opponents, and that is giving him so much advantage in lane. Even though Harif should actually be able to trade quite well against him, and even more buffs are being stolen.
Brantizi is going to be able to land the kick onto Eman, but the damage follow-up is not going to be there because it's way too far. The angle was too deep. Dominator's Descent committed. Ryzen not able to steal the turtle. Another secured objective for Bigatron Alpha. Moreno uses the RWM to force the flicker outside of Achira.
Yeah, that was a bit too greedy there. Nomad trying to go on Moreno, but again, not enough damage yet on the Harif. He needs his Holy Crystal, and Ryzen just finds Eman, finally putting an end to the Granger's dominance in the bot lane.
Non-stop action. Teams, both of them just trying to find trades elsewhere. I gotta appreciate Soon. I didn't expect them to find a solo kill or a kill onto Eman in the bottom lane, yet they were able to get something for themselves. Despite the difficult start, Ryzen is actually leading against Super Ken. Maybe that comes from the fact that Super Ken's been joining a lot of these fights to supplement Bigatron Alpha.
Yeah, Ryzen is the only one that can really do too much in this early game, so it's expected that he'd be slightly ahead, but actually about 200 gold isn't that much of a difference, especially when you consider he kind of got a bit of a bounty from a 2-kill Eman earlier. So before this, he was notably behind Super Ken actually. So Bigatron still very much in control. That turtle fight was a bit too messy. I think Brantizi really should not have committed the second phase of the Way of the Dragon. The angle was just wrong. He should have kept himself alive to try and stay in the fight.
Oh, now here at the bottom lane, Eman is going to be taken down yet again. Soon has changed their point of focus, and that's 2 deaths in quick succession against the gold laner of Bigatron Alpha. And if BTR are not careful and if they don't continue to find trades, then maybe Soon might just be able to turn this around.
Yeah, focusing on the goal lane is a good idea here because Bigatron is trying to play around Eman's lane advantage by just straight up beating Nomad and Mechanics so far. They've been able to get a very early tower though, and that's actually much more valuable for Bigatron. That's why Eman was actually willing to trade his life.
Oh, a kick by Brantizi in the mid, and Brantizi a bit too deep, but again, another kill for Soon, but this time it's Moreno. Eman is going to be able to get away scot-free. The ultimate of the Hylos brought down. Glorious Pathway. Ninja with the knockback combo. Not able to fully maximize it, but the crowd control is there. But the damage is not. But Ken is here with his own damage. Light with the knock-up. Point blank leads to a double kill for Super Ken.
Eman!
Under the tower, Eman got greedy, and he gets punished.
Yeah, that was 100% greed from Eman. Did not need to commit that hard for the kill onto Achira there. Bigatron still kind of come out on top, but they're losing a lot more than they need to considering the advantage they had. And couldn't convert it by taking a turtle and the buff and Brantizi on top of it though. So Bigatron still feeling pretty comfortable in their own shoes.
I'll give it to Brantizi. The man does not give up. No matter what gets thrown at him, at least he's trying. But maybe he tried just a little bit too hard on that one. There was nothing to defend, no one to back him up. That was an unnecessary death.
Brantisi thinking that there is nothing he can't Jeet Kune do, but that was a situation where he should Jeet Kune don't. So you gotta be a little bit more careful in these positions. You're really good at pickoff, but Bigatron has a massive wall in their front line that you don't have the damage to break down yet. So vision control is your core.
Well, Brantisi, he strongly believes he can Jeet Kune do. Let's see, he's trying to do it again. And don't tell me you're gonna get caught. Not like that. Brantisi, brother, I know you can't hear me right now, but maybe just ease off of the gas pedal a little bit, because here comes the punish by Bigatron Alpha. Knee just goes down to the bottom in the mid lane alongside the tower.
Yeah, this is where we see the lack of synergy from SYS really rearing its ugly head. No reason for Brantisi to be that far up on the map. Yes, he needs to give vision. I literally just mentioned that, but you still gotta keep yourself alive while providing that information. So when you're in a play,
Okay, another one taunted Brantisi. Brother, sir, excuse me. Light goes in with his ultimate as well. Glorious pathway, though here comes a follow-up by Bigatron Alpha with no more roamer at the side of SYS. Looks like it's going to be an easy picking for them as Knee just goes down yet again.
This is kind of ugly here. SYS literally just walking themselves into a slaughterhouse every single time. Brantisi dashing into that bush was... Honestly, in this case, I can't even blame him too much, but wariness, right? Because you don't know where they are. You gotta save your Shunpo for your exit rather than your entrance.
Yeah, exactly. It would be great to have it, and at least already have the third activation of the Jeet Kune Do ready, so if ever you Shunpo in, you can get someone with the third activation of the Jeet Kune Do, a hero, and then it resets, then you can Shunpo out. But now let's see, he is still providing the vision, but what we were talking about earlier, the disparity between him and Achira, Emman trying to survive against Nomad. Here comes the entry of Light and the punishment of Bigatron Alpha. A real-world manipulation by the Eve secures the kill onto the Harith. Knee just trying to survive as well. He just wanted to help, and he will not get taken down. But this looks dire for SYS as BTR and the Lord will march in with minions.
SYS is falling apart. The synergy is all wrong. No reason for Nomad to be that far up trying to take the 1v1 against Emman when it's already been historically proven to not go that well. When your team isn't around to back you up or help you against a Gatot, no way you should be that far up in a lane. SYS are kind of operating as 5 individual brain cells rather than an actual synergistic team.
On the other side, Bigatron Alpha, their synergy is on point. This is the Bigatron Alpha we were looking for yesterday. And now SYS are trying to find an opportunity, any chance for them to turn around, maybe punish, but the double revitalize is keeping Luke alive, but not long enough as Achira falls, or Achira will take him down, but that's going to be a kill onto Ryzen. That's 2 members of SYS dead, make that 3, a double kill for Emman.
Started out good with the wall trapping Luke, getting a kill, then they overextended and micro mistakes happened. Brantisi literally missed the flicker Jeet Kune Do and Ni just came in too late to do anything when their DPSs weren't even ready to follow up. I feel like this game is pretty much done.
Nomad trying, and try as you do, he will still fall. Bigatron Alpha rises to win game number 1.
Yeah, that could have gone better. Let's just say that, right? What do you think, Abstract?
I think that the disconnection between the roamer and the team is a lot bigger when it comes down to SYS. It is